Welcome to the Transform My Dance Studio podcast, the only podcast for dance studio owners, where each week we bring you business growth strategies to help you increase your profits, impact the lives of more students, while ensuring you get back some time to have a little life outside of the studio. It's time for you to become the go-to studio in your area. Now, here's your host, founder of the Dance Studio Owners Association, Clint Salter.
Welcome to a new week, Dance Studio Owners. It's Clint Salter here. Thank you so much for joining me on episode number 82 of the Transform My Dance Studio podcast. So glad that you could join us for another week of tactics, really, on how you can grow and transform your dance studio. Talk about transforming. Wow, I'm over the moon that so many of you have jumped on in and grabbed a copy of my brand new book, Dance Studio Transformation. It was certainly a labor of love, but I've put everything that I could when it comes to text into this book. Nearly 200 pages, over 62,000 words on how you can really build a successful studio, increase the impact that you're having in the community. So becoming the go-to studio in your community, and which I think is super important, getting back your life. How can you run a successful studio without being there 6 or 7 days a week? They're all the things that I share inside the book. If you haven't already checked it out, please do so. DanceStudioTransformation.com is the website. We've got a whole bunch of bonuses to give away as well, so please check it out. Now, on the topic of transforming a dance studio, today I wanted to talk about the crimes that we commit against our studio. Don't worry, I'm not just going to tell you about the bad stuff. I'm going to share with you the things that you actually need to be looking out for and doing in your studio when it comes to really making it more profitable. And you would have heard me talk about money before on this podcast, because I think so many studio owners feel like they can't run a business, a dance studio, and make money, that there's some crime against that. But I would say out of most of the professions in the world, we're not saving lives, that's for sure. So we're not doctors and surgeons, but we are providing one of the most valuable services to young human beings that shape who they are. I even think I probably learned a lot more in dance class about life and business than I did in school. So firstly, I just want to say, don't discount what you are doing, because you need to be paid for the amazing things that you're doing for your students and your parents as well in this world. So we're going to be talking about how to become more profitable, but it's through a lot of ways that you would think, well, Clint, how does that add profit? You know, I'm going to run through the mistakes that you're making, the things that you're not focusing on that you need to be focusing on. And I want to give you a little challenge. So I'm going to run through 8 things today in this episode. And my challenge to you is just pick 2 of the 8 things that I mentioned, and over the next 30 days, I want to give yourself a little mini challenge, and I want you to put an action plan in place on how you are going to apply what I'm teaching you today in just 2 of the areas. But how are you going to integrate these into your studio? And this is going to make a lot more sense once I jump into them, but I just wanted to give you that little tidbit right now, so that as I'm going through the 8, you can actually mark down the 2 that you want to focus on for the next 30 days. Then the next month you can work on another 2, which would be super exciting. So after 4 months, you've done all 8. And I reckon after that, your studio is totally going to be rocking. So here's a couple of things that you can start thinking about, or maybe you've thought about them, but you've never done anything about them. We've all been there, right? We've all heard like the same thing over and over again. You're like, yeah, I know that. I have this rule now that you actually don't know it unless you've done something about it, right? So even if you've heard something that I've said before, or someone else has said, oh, you've got to do this, and you go, yeah, I know that. But ask yourself, but have I done it? Have I taken action on that? Or do I just think I know it? Okay, I'm just going to leave you with that thought for a second. All right, cool. Let's jump in. Number one, and I've done an episode, a podcast episode on this. We've got trainings around this. And the first one is ensuring that you diversify your revenue streams. Now, if you plan to build a business that operates without you, which I hope that you are, you're going to have to introduce additional revenue streams to grow your studio. And so aside from like your group classes, maybe your private lessons, you want to look at other things that you can offer your existing customers, because they're your raving fans. So it's not about running classes for 2.5 to 18-year-olds in tap, jazz and ballet, say for instance, and then you're like, I've got a good idea. Why don't we run adult fitness classes in Zumba and Pound, and there's so many cool things out there at the moment. Why don't we do that? Okay, that might work, but you've got to think that essentially that's a new business for you, targeting 18 plus. Why not look at your existing customer base who know you, like you, trust you, love you, and go, well, what are they after? And well, it might be birthday parties. It might be introducing a new style of dance for them. It might be introducing different merchandise. It might be that there's so many different things that you can do with that age group that are already there. They're already your existing customers, and they probably want to give you some extra money for providing some more value. So these are why surveys are really great, because you can survey people, get information about what they're after, what they want, additional services, what you could be doing better, and you can create more things from that. So number one, make sure you're diversifying your revenue streams. Don't put all of your eggs in the one basket, and the best way to do that is look at complementary services or products that you could be offering to your existing customers. Then once you've kind of nailed that, then you can look at other markets. One of my favorite, number two, put the customer service at the core of everything that you do, right? Because with more and more studios opening every week, right? And so many of you are messaging me saying, Clint, another studio just opened. Like, how can we stand out? It is so crucial that you're focusing on the experience each and every customer has with your business. Because it is, guys, it's getting harder and harder to stand out. When everyone is offering fairy ballet classes for 3-year-olds, how are you going to get the edge? Well, it's simply by providing out of this world customer service. I'll give you an example. I went to a health club. So I'm in New York for a couple of months, and there's a new health club that opened next door to me. So I went in there, and I always love the whole signing up for the gym process, because I'm always fascinated by how they go about it. Anyway, the woman who served me, she was the general manager of the club. Great to have someone that is high up. You feel super important when someone high up. And she was just brilliant. I thought one of the questions that she asked me, which was really, really important, was tell me what you're most interested in learning about here. Tell me what you're doing at the moment. We have basketball, we have a spa, we have a tennis court, we have a pool, we have weights, we have cardio equipment. What gets you most excited about coming to the gym? And I was like, that is a good question, right? She gave me beautiful service, and I signed up at the end of that. Compared to some bad customer service, I've got an app that I have, a meditation app that I have on my iPhone, and it's the subscription it renews every quarter or something, right? So it renews every quarter, and I wanted to turn the auto renewal off this application. I don't like auto renews on anything because I lose track of them. So I want to keep updated when a renewal is coming up. So I emailed their customer service, and they wrote back saying, hi there, we have nothing to do with this. You'll need to contact Apple. And I was like, well, no, it's your app. Can you at least give me the instructions on how to do it? Anyway, about 2 emails back and forth, they finally sent me through the instructions on what I needed to do on my iPhone to cancel that auto renewal. But me as a customer, for that application, I was really annoyed, because I wasn't asking to cancel or anything, and even if I was, I should have there should have been a better experience there. And they're two things that I talk about. I've talked about both of those experiences over dinner over the last week, a couple of dinners. And so people then talk about it. So you want to make sure that you're giving the best customer service possible, because that's going to allow you to stand out. Plus, eventually, it helps with referrals as well. Number 3 is that your website, guys, your website is so important. Now, it's really important that you're across social media, 100%. Where should you be playing? Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat, without a question. But don't leave that poor, that poor middle child, which is your website, hanging there, because people are still going to your website. Yes, they're visiting you on social media, but when they want more info, they are going to your website. So please make sure your website is clean, it's clear, it's engaging, it's easy to find information. Please don't let me have to hunt around for your phone number or your address. Right, that's such a huge thing. I've always got lots of stories. Right, another example. I was going to see Waitress, the musical, a couple of weeks ago, and could I find their, do you know how long it took me to find an address on their website for where the theatre actually was? It wasn't on the bottom of the page, it wasn't on the contact, it was in some really kind of odd place, like the FAQs or something. But your contact details need to be everywhere on your website. Make it really easy for people to find you, and the information that is relevant for them, right? Make sure that's easy. Number 4 is please let go of bad customers. Wow, in the association, we've had so many conversations of studio owners that are really upset, when people leave them, or they're having a really tough time with a particular customer that's causing so much tension, that is so toxic. That toxic energy. We've all had those parents that are toxic. That toxic energy in the studio, and it gets us down. It zaps our energy completely. It makes us not want to come to the studio. And so as a studio owner, it's really your responsibility to set your expectations up front with new parents and students about what you expect from them, and really clearly explain my 3 favorites: your values, your mission, and your vision. That should really be everywhere, right? Because what you want to do is, when you say to someone, look, what we value here is XYZ, and why that's important, why those values are super important to us, is because our mission is to provide XYZ, because our vision is in 5 years' time that we have XYZ happening for your child, right? So whatever that kind of formula is for you, values, mission, vision. And then generally what will happen is the parent and the student will go yes or no. Great to have these on your website in a video, by the way, because what you actually want to do is you want to polarize your audience. You want to have people that say, you are the place that I want to come. You are the place that I feel at home. And you want people to say, no, you're annoying. I don't want to go to those classes. That sounds horrible. You want that to happen. Don't be beige. Really stand out for what you're for, and put out there the people that you want to attract. It's the same with any business. With us, we have the most amazing, delightful, hungry, passionate, driven studio owners I've ever met within our association and inside our programs. But they're the right people for us, for me, for my team, for our experts, for our company. That's what we're about. And there's people that come to, us or send emails and they don't resonate with our message. And that is totally normal. And that's okay, because there's other people that they can go to get the information that they need that's going to be able to help them. We're not here to serve everyone in the world. So what I'm saying here is let go of those people. Don't try and hang on to them. Don't ever let them leave, right? Because you're wasting so much energy. There's another 5 people out there for that one person, that is not, that is going to be right for you, that is going to love being a part of your family. So let go of that bad energy. Number 5 is invest in yourself and your business. Over the years, I've worked with lots of studio owners, but when I think about the highly profitable studios, so the studios that are doing over $1 million a year in their business, one thing comes up over and over again. When I talk to them and I say, how did you get there and what was the process of getting there? A lot of the time they say, you know what, Clint, I just built the most amazing circle of mentors and peers around me who inspired me, who taught me, who advised me, who helped me get to the next level in my business. And they go to events, they're doing programs, they're reading books, they're improving themselves as leaders, and they're putting some money back into their business so that it can continually grow. Because I can tell you now, and I've been that business owner many, many years ago that just kind of didn't hire anyone, didn't spend any money, didn't really go and learn kind of too much from people, and my business completely tanked, nearly died until I got someone on board, a mentor to help me drive it forward. So make sure you're investing in yourself and your business. Number 6 is listen to your customers. I touched on surveys before, but your customers are the best source of new ideas, improvements you can make to your business, improvements you can take on board for how you lead, for how you run the business. And you don't need to take everything on board, by the way, but it's really great for you to listen to your customers. They're going to help you when it comes to what's something else we should do. We talked about revenue streams, diversifying your revenue streams. They can help you kind of decide on those things and say, hey, you know what, we really want this. And then you hear someone else say, hey, we really want this. Then someone else says, we really, really want this. And then you're like, right, I need to make that happen. So make sure you're really listening to your customers, and that's by doing surveys 2 or 4 times a year, different types of surveys. And your customers are really going to shape the business, and they'll shape it good or bad, really. And so I'd want it to be the good stuff. So make sure you really start listening to them, implementing those surveys. Number 7, right, is you've got to implement quickly. So often I see studio owners that I'll talk to, and then 6 months later I'll talk to again. They'll send me an email, or I'll see them at a conference that I'm speaking at, and I say, hey, I know we talked about XYZ last time. How did that go? And they go, you know what, I'm still working on it, or I just haven't got it right. The thing is that most of the things that we put out in the world are not going to be right the first time that we put them out there. We've really got to test things, but we can't test them in our own little laboratory. We've got to get them out to the people. If you want to trial a new class, test a new class out, put time and energy into marketing it, seeing what the market says, and then pull back, take it back to the lab, work on it, put it out there again, but implement quickly. It's one of the things that has really attributed to our success of our company, of all the different businesses that I've worked on and created and sold over the years, is we implement fast. And then we go, what do you think? To our customers, and they'll say we love it or we hate it, and then we go back to the lab and keep working on it. Even if it does work, we're still working on making things better all the time. And lastly, number 8, have a plan. My favorite quote around planning: if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. It's certainly true for a lot of studio owners. Make sure that you're planning out your year in advance. It's one of the most valuable things you can do in your business. And to do that, block out time. Look at your promotions, your events. Look at when you want to recruit staff. Look at recitals, concerts, competitions, workshops, conventions. All of those things in advance. Have a master calendar. Okay, when you're active and doing things on the fly, that's when chaos hits and things that you didn't expect happen. And none of us really like that, right? So have a plan. If you're, heading into the new dance season, as you're listening to this, make sure you've got a plan for that year. If you're not and you're halfway through a year or something similar, plan out the next half. It's never too late. Don't leave it for the next year. Really start now. So guys, they're the 8 things. So let me run through them. So number 1, diversify your revenue streams. Number 2, put customer service at the core of everything you do. Number 3, your website is so important. Number 4, let go of those bad customers, those toxic people. Get rid of them. Bring in some new good ones. Number 5, invest in yourself and your business. Number 6, listen to your customers. Number 7, implement quickly. Take action. Test. Then take it back to the lab and work on it and put it out there again. Number 8, make sure that you have a plan. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And again, if you want any more details around any of these things, or you want some strategy and tactics all packed into a book for you, just under 200 pages, please check out my new book that I've just released, dancestudiotransformation.com, for all the details, plus the bonuses that we are giving away. So I hope you have a great rest of the week, whenever you're listening to this episode. And I really look forward to jumping on with you next week, where we're going to be talking about going from being a dance teacher to the CEO of your studio. You'll hear a theme this month, and our theme this month really is about becoming a true business owner and a true business leader. So can't wait to jump into that episode with you. Until then, have just the most awesome week, and I'll talk to you again really soon. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us today. For all the resource links from the show and to receive access to our free dance studio growth training, make sure you visit transformmydancestudio.com.